Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you so much for listening to another episode of the Secret to Success podcast. We strive to bring you the top leaders in their industries so you can learn their secrets to success, so you can grow and build your businesses, be prosperous, and live the dreams that you are so looking to live. If you have any questions, please feel free to email us at info@theatsjr.com for more information about the ATSJR companies and to find out more about how to live your dreams and reach that middle class exit and live the life that you were supposed to live. Freedom is abundance, and abundance is freedom. Let's all go live it. Thank you again for joining us for another episode of the Secret to Success podcast. Our senior level until Sunday at 8:55 p.m. Central Time will be, there we go, will be $19.99. And that's for our UK and for that's for our UK and our American families. For our Indian and Nigerian families, it is $4.99. That's the first announcement I want to make. Second announcement is during tonight's call, if you are in the position to, you can please turn on your cameras so we can see your facial expressions during tonight's special presentation. I'm being sarcastic and not being sarcastic at the same time, because if you know tonight's presenter, then you'll know why we want to see your wonderful smiling faces, feel your amazing energy, and see these facial expressions that's about to pop up, because tonight we have an amazing speaker, one who has dominated every continent, except for, I think, Antarctica. Oh, okay. Has dominated every country. Speaks over 300 times a year. I was about to say a week. Might as well say a week. Speaks over 300 times a year. Pulls the greatness out of you. Pulls you out of your prosperity and out of your poverty and moves you into your prosperity. The one, the only, the lion himself, Mr. Antonio T. Smith Jr. The floor is now yours.
Hey everybody, thank you so much. We've got something in 58 minutes, right?
Yes, we do.
Outstanding. I want to talk to you about 7 days to change the world. It is not my intention to wow you. Typically, I would love to do that. But that's not the tone of this keynote. It is not my intention to talk to you because I literally prepared a keynote. It is not my intention to be religious, although I am going to talk about an ancient text. It is my intention to remind you that you would do greater things than this, should you follow the journey. There is an ancient text in which there was a carpenter, and this carpenter laid down his carpenter life for his friends. Anybody familiar with said ancient text? Do not take this as a religious talk, because it's not. But I am going to, from a historical perspective, give you the last 7 days of this carpenter's life on earth. You should know that we have more scientific evidence, as far as, or I should say historical evidence, more primary sources, more written material about the carpenter from Nazareth than we do King Tut from Egypt. You should know that without a doubt, we have Roman literature that addressed a man from Nazareth than we do of Alexander the Great, who Hellenized or Greekized the entire world. So here is the timeline of that carpenter's crucifixion. Sunday, April 10th, approximately 30 AD. This carpenter took a 2-mile journey to a place named Jerusalem from a place named Bethany. where he stayed at each night. My question to you is, do you have what it takes to start your life right now and march towards your crucifixion? Rewind, press play. It is not my attempt to wow you with great words and great presentation. That's not this type of keynote. It is not my attempt to talk to you from a religious standpoint. I would like to take a historic interpretation and observation of an ancient text and talk about the protagonists therein. And I would like to use as a theme for my talk, you would do greater things than this if you do that. But are you willing, Michelle, to do every step that the carpenter stepped? The first thing the carpenter did was leave comfort and willingly march towards death. It is my opinion that one who decides to be great must march towards one's destruction. I see no physical evidence in history which anyone has changed the world and changed the world from a place of comfort. I see no place in history where someone has changed the world and did not have to leave their world. There is a great preacher in the town of Houston, Texas, small town. His name is Dwayne Brooks, Doctor, PhD, Houston Baptist University. And he says that God's kingdom cannot come until your kingdom leaves. This protagonist, on the first day, Sunday, April 10th, approximately 30 AD, took a 2-mile journey towards crucifixion from the place of comfort. And my question to you is, on the way to your legacy, are you willing to leave your comfort? The next day, Monday, April 11th, same year, 30 AD, this carpenter protested financial transactions within the temple and argued with people with more scholarship, worldly scholarship, than him. My question to you is, do you have enough courage within you to stand up to power when you have no worldly accolades to do so? Let's take it back. Although this carpenter was that like a Pharisee, had the same understanding of said Pharisees, he did not go to the Pharisee schools. He was not a scribe. He was not a Pharisee. He was not part of the Sanhedrin. As a matter of fact, he chose the life of a peasant. He chose to hang with drunkards, tax collectors. This carpenter had no qualifications, but walked into a place of greater than him, the temple, and then stood up to power that had more qualifications than him. My application to you is, do you have 7 days to change the world? And do you have the courage to stand up for injustice? Martin Luther King said that injustice anywhere, as long as you are silent to injustice anywhere, you are silent to injustice everywhere. This carpenter, first day, marched towards death. Second day, while getting towards death, stopped and addressed injustice. My question to you, my friends, is this is not one of those keynotes in which I attempt to wow you, but I attempt to transform you. My question to you is, are you afraid to leave what is comfortable to you? Do you have the courage to march towards your certain crucifixion? Because to be inside the will of God is to be outside the will of people. And when you are outside the will of people, people have crucifixions. The moment you decide to live your dreams, people will decide to crucify them. Can you see it? Can you see the 11 people sitting in a room with a locked door the day of what is the resurrection? Can you see it? Can you see that they have laid their entire lives down for 2.5 years? They were fishermen. They were tax collectors. Can you see it? Can you see that they had their own reputations? They needed not worldly anything. They were about their business, about their money, or at least about living for themselves. Can you see it? Can you see that they denied themselves and said, you know what? I'm going to follow this guy. And for 2.5 years, they are convinced that everything's going to work out. And in one night, people nail their dreams to a cross. Has that ever happened to you? I wish I had somebody I could really talk to here. Have you ever followed a dream only to have somebody else nail that dream to a cross? Because if you're not careful, people would knock the praise right out of you. That's their job. And here are these 11 men scared of other men that go to the same church, sit on the same pew, talk the same talk language, say son of David, just like the others. They went to school together, had sleepovers in the same house. And now they scared of them. Not because they overthrew the government. They're scared of these men because these men decide to worship differently. Have you ever been there? Have you ever decided to be an entrepreneur and say, I'm going to do this differently and been crucified by your family? I wish I had a Michelle in the place. Day one, let's leave. Day two, let's stand up to injustice. Tuesday, April 12th, same year, 30 AD. This carpenter then predicts and announces the date that people will execute him. Then debates with religious leaders, responds to questions about the greatest commandment. That's a full day. It's a full day when you step back and say, you know, y'all gonna kill me in a little bit, right? You know, you talking about that text, you know? Yep, me too. Let me tell you about it. And then, hey, carpenter, tell me what God said about the greatest commandment.
Hey everybody, it's my honor to talk to you about Grammarly. Now I can tell you I have a master's degree. Well, obviously I have a bachelor's degree too, and both of these are in a writing industry. And if I tell you grammar is something difficult to get a hold of, and Grammarly has saved me in a master thesis, it has saved me an online post. It has made a true difference in my life because context is everything, and Grammarly praises and helps you with that context. So I'm excited. Grammarly just is amazing. It works across multiple platforms, including Gmail, Google Docs, Slack. I personally, Antonio T. Smith Jr., use Grammarly to edit my books, my blog post. Grammarly does about 99% of my professional editing. I personally pay for the pro version of Grammarly so I can get not only the grammar check, but the syntax of things. Sometimes I have sentences that are not clear. Grammarly even helps me with redundant phrases. And then sometimes I use a word too many times in a paragraph, and Grammarly will help me change words so my context and my content could be more flattering to the reader's eyes and ears. I am just excited about Grammarly. I strongly, and I mean strongly, recommend it to all of you. I really do. It makes your sentences more clear, concise, crisp. It does everything. So this is what I want to tell all of you. Do not think of this as some ad. This is a personal endorsement from me to you about Grammarly. So I want to motivate you. In fact, let me ethically bribe you to try out Grammarly. So in a little bit, I'm going to have you go get 20% off Grammarly Premium. When you sign up, you're going to go to grammarly.com/success. And I'm going to have you do that. But before you do that, let me tell you, it's easy to use. Its features are perfect. And if you understand that the written word is the greatest invention of mankind, and today you're not judged only by what you look like. The reason why you can't get into a college without writing an essay, or you can't get a scholarship without writing an essay, is because how you write determines your class. Remember that. I want you to remember that when you send out an email, someone is judging you. When you make a post, someone is judging you. So if you want to improve your writing on all your favorite sites and apps, Outlook, Gmail, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and more, let's go with Grammarly. Now that's grammarly.com/success. That's grammarly.com/success. Get 20% off Grammarly Premium when you sign up at grammarly.com/success. If you couldn't remember that, no worries. It's the first thing you'll see in the show notes. Let's go.
It's probably going to be some love. Day 1, leave your comfort. Day 2, stand up for injustice. Day 3, say I know you coming. Can I talk to you just for a second? I would love to wow you. I would love to let you leave here happy, but I'd much rather you leave here transformed. Do you have what it takes in 7 days to see them coming for you, Nikki, and do nothing about it? Help me, somebody. Only those who see crucifixion coming in their direction and then allow crucifixion to come in that direction will always ascend past the crucifixion itself. Please note, this carpenter was convinced I must do this 7-day journey. We're not talking about after the resurrection. We're talking about the week knowing you about to be crucified. Can you handle it when you know in 7 days I'll be good, but they still got to embarrass me publicly and kill me first? My question to you is, do you have what it takes to do that now? Can you? Can you trust your current journey, knowing that your journey has crucifixion in it? Because please believe, if you're on your journey, you will be crucified. The funny thing about crucifixion, it comes for us all. Even more funny about crucifixion, it takes quite a few forms. Sometimes your husband will try to take everything from you, your self-esteem, and then divorce you and leave with another woman. Crucifixion. Sometimes them bill collectors will call you and say, I'm going to take you to court. Crucifixion. Sometimes your kids just flat out act like you ain't give birth to them. Help me, somebody. Crucifixion. And other times, you don't even know why the hell you crucified in the first place. God, I done everything I can. I done trusted what Phil said. I listened to every Bureau of Dominant Speakers. I'm doing what they said. And this still ain't working for me. Is somebody with me? Every now and then, you are supposed to be crucified so you can appreciate the resurrection. Day one, got to leave comfort. Got to march towards death. Day two, you got to stand up to injustice. Day three, you got to have a full day in which you announce, I know you're coming for me, but I'm going to let you come anyway. Still day three, fourth thing this carpenter did. Judas got into a contract to betray the carpenter. Can you imagine it? Can you imagine holding somebody down for 2.5, 3 years? And the only thing that they give to you back in return is turning you over to death? Have you ever been there? I need some betrayed folks. If you've been betrayed, can you just raise your hand? Nobody else been betrayed but me and Jerry? Okay, we got Tanya. Okay, that's cool. When you've been betrayed, it hurt, don't it? On the third day, this carpenter had a full day. Announced when I'm going to die, debate with religious teachers, responded to questions about the greatest love commandment, and then had one of his best friends initiate his death. My friends, the time is coming in which all of you will be betrayed. Death will find you. This will not be easy. Your credit won't act like credit. Your money won't act like money. Your wife will stop acting like a wife. And you will be betrayed. Can you get to day 4? Day 4. Wednesday, April 13th. Jesus warns against religious leaders. Hey, don't bother them. Calls them hypocrites and snakes from the Mount of Olives. This carpenter mourns the very people he loves, Jerusalem, their rejection, and forecast their pending destruction. Can you tell people that you're trying to help? They may not be on the right path. Do you have what it takes? Listen, day 1 to leave your comfort. Day 2, standing for injustice. Day 3, have a full day of helping people. Then get betrayed. And in your most hurt moment, say, hey, y'all, you may be in trouble. Somebody missed it. I'll rewind it. I hope that on your way to this entrepreneur journey, I hope on your way to wokeness, on your way to self-correction and self-improvement, you never forget to love other people. I hope on your way to the crucifixion that is, you still remember to tell me that I'm not in the right path. I'm not doing the right thing. God, deliver me from the person seeing me commit suicide and let me do it. Day 1, you got to leave home. Got to leave that comfort. Day 2, it's got to stand up for injustice. Day 3, you got to have a full day of helping out folk and getting betrayed. Day 4, It's probably time to make sure I don't betray myself. Day 5, Thursday, April 14th. This carpenter have the Last Supper with his disciples. It's called a Passover meal. This carpenter then in the Garden of Gethsemane waits for his arrest. Can you process that? Can you know that in day 3, they done already betrayed you and then sit around and eat dinner with your betrayer with no judgment? Help me somebody. On this journey, do you have enough ascension in you to know they coming from you? They coming for you. You know what happened. You still go help other people. And then you sit down knowing this your last time. And you're not stressed. Oh my God. How many of y'all get a phone call from a bill collector and stress the hell out? Can you imagine it? Can you imagine knowing that one of them betrayed you, 11 of them don't even understand you? Can you take living for people who gonna prove in less than 72 hours they're not willing to die for you? I hope I'm talking in this place. I love to wow you with some good words, but I only got 7 days to change the world. I'd love to tell you how good it's gonna be, how fantastic the apple pie is gonna taste, and how fantastic the commas in your bank account gonna be. But at the end of the day, those commas will be passed on to somebody else when you die. The government gonna come from them commas, and the apples eventually gonna be eaten by the bugs. But as for you, on day 5, after all this stuff, can you eat with people who don't deserve to eat with you? Ralph Waldo Emerson once said that you can tell the quality of a man by the way he helps those who can do nothing for him. There comes a time, my friends, in which you just gonna have to serve people knowing they can't serve you back and knowing they don't deserve for you to serve them. Because every great master has always lost the fight of righteousness when it comes to man's righteousness. Day 1, can you leave your home, your comfort? Can you leave Bethany and march towards your direction? Day 2, can you go ahead and tell these money changers, the White House and them, you know y'all tripping, right? Day 3, can you say, I know you're coming for me. I've seen it already. I'll go ahead and take your little debates. I'll tell you about love. And I know you betraying me. Can you on day 4 say, you know what? I just want to tell y'all that you're tripping. Not with persecution, but with love, because I don't want you to continue to plant bad seeds. And on day 5, can you eat with people who don't deserve to eat with you? My. Day 6, huh? Day 6. You call it Good Friday. But that first one wasn't so good. Let me put my weight on it just for a second. You put diamonds on the cross right now. That first one had blood on it. Am I making? Is it okay? It's called good now. But the first one wasn't so good. Day 6 was full. This carpenter was arrested, had a trial 1 with a high priest, been a high priest for 16 years. Then he gets physically abused. Trial 2, same day, April 15th. Another high priest, Caiaphas, over the court of the Sanhedrin, says, bloody this man. Same day. Then Caiaphas says, put him in prison. I don't want to see him no more. In Caiaphas' palace. Same day, trial 3. All the Jewish elders, no disrespect to Jews, including the high priests, scribes, and the whole Sanhedrin, even Nicodemus, who came at night and said, I know who you are. They say, crucify him, even though he ain't did me no wrong. Still day 6, trial number 4. Is a hearing before the Roman governor. Pilate is what you call him, who declares, I find no fault in this man. Still day 5, still day 6, trial number 5. Hearing before Herod Antipas, the son of Herod the Great, who had jurisdiction over all of Galilee. This carpenter refused to answer any questions. So Herod said, take him back to Pilate. He disrespected me. Still day 6. Trial number 6. Pilate repeatedly tried to release this carpenter, but the Jews said, crucify him. Pilate then said, I won't crucify him. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lash him good 40 times. Beat this carpenter beyond recognition. Whipped off his skin, took off his beard, and then, however, demanded that this carpenter be crucified, said his friends, his kinship. Pilate said, no. They said, do it anyway. Give us Barabbas. And then he said, execute him. Still 6th day. Pilate said to the Roman soldiers, take this man to the court and enjoy mocking him. Put on 3 different languages over his head a funny statement. And then put thorns in his skull. This ain't no religious talk. This is a historic perspective of changing the world in 7 days. Still day 6. This carpenter was forced to carry a cross that wasn't his. And they assigned the cross to him. Then crucified him. Still day 6. Final 3 hours on the cross. Still day 6. Died. Still day 6. Buried. Can you handle 5 trials? 5 times being publicly embarrassed? How many of you like to be publicly embarrassed? Because I come from the school. You pitch the tent. That's what we have in the circus. I wish I had somebody that heard your mama say, when we getting in store, don't you ask for nothing. I'm not buying nothing. Come on now. Don't you ask for nothing. Don't you touch nothing. And if you get in there and try to act a fool, I'm going to just talk my culture. Don't you think these white folk is going to stop me from disciplining you? Let's talk about culture. I ain't trying to bother nobody. That's just my culture, okay? Can you handle on your entrepreneur journey? This ain't no religious talk. We're taking a historical perspective to the carpenter that changed the world in 7 days. Doesn't matter if you believe the story still change the world. On your entrepreneur journey, in which any great entrepreneur would tell you, it sure feels a lot like crucifixion, let me tell you. Because this carpenter had 12 friends. One of them tripped out. 11 of them let him die by himself. Help me, somebody. Imagine having 11 folk you pour into for 2.5, 3 years. And when you need them the most, they abandon you. They see you, but they let you die by yourself. On your entrepreneurship journey, do you have what it takes? Can you? Day one, leave your comfort. You mind if I press on a little bit, Grace? Day two, stand up to injustice. Day three, have a full day. Argue with religious leaders, teach them about something. Go ahead and say, I know you're coming for me. I ain't gonna do nothing about it. Teach you about love and go ahead and get betrayed and do nothing about it. Day four, can you warn against the self-destruction that the people you love have? Day four, eat with people who don't deserve to eat with you. Day five, get publicly embarrassed 5 times. Get all your skin knocked off. 5 and 6. Let them lie on you. How many of y'all like being lied on? Because I ain't never like that. That's why I'm not this carpenter. Help me, somebody. If I was built like this carpenter, I'd have been the carpenter. But since I ain't built like this carpenter, don't you lie on me, Arshia. I ain't built that way. Is it just me? Am I the only real person in the building? Okay, all right then. Don't you lie on me and then send me to jail. Now, we ain't gonna do that. Come on now, help me, somebody. Now, you're not gonna lie on me and send me to jail and send me to the death punishment, the capital punishment. You gonna lie, send me to jail, and give me the death punishment? The crucial, what do you call it? No. Death penalty. You lie, send me to jail, send me to death penalty without a just trial. No, we ain't gonna do that. Where the witnesses at? I made them up. But on this entrepreneur journey, my friends, outside the entrepreneur journey, on this human journey, all these things will happen to you. Will you act like the carpenter or will you act like Judas? Will you act like the carpenter or will you act like the 11? Will you act like the carpenter or will you act like the elders? Will you act like the carpenter or will you act like the crowd? Will you act like the carpenter or will you flee like the supporters? Day 7. Resurrection. First reported after the execution. It needs to be said that the first person to find this carpenter was a woman. It needs to be said that the first person to find this carpenter was a woman that wasn't married. It needs to be said the first person to find this carpenter was a woman they didn't believe. It needs to be said it was a poor woman. But one that the carpenter revealed himself to. I got a challenge for you. As far as my beliefs go, you're going to do greater things than this. But you'll never be great if you are afraid of crucifixion. If on this human journey, this human experience, if you can't take the cross destined for you, I don't care what you are, what your agenda is. If you can't handle the fact that one day you're going to live long enough for your mama to die, one day you're going to live long enough for your spouse to die, one day you're going to live long enough for your business to die, and one day you're going to live long enough for you to die. There will be a resurrection, and 99.99% of those will happen while you're living on earth, because that's the way it works. How many of you had the worst day of your life more than once? Got my hand up first. How many of you fell asleep and woke up one time and you've been doing it ever since? In both those situations, you've been resurrected over, 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 and over. 7 days this carpenter had to change the world. You are as great and smarter than and have access to more resources than this carpenter ever had. My challenge to you is to stop being so comfortable and leave Bethany and march towards Jerusalem.
Cynthia, I can follow Gracie.
My message to you is stop being so comfortable and know that as you leave, your comfort, there is a cross waiting for you. My challenge to you is as you leave, know there will be a Judas. You will love them. You will bring them close. And for a few pieces of silver, they will turn their backs on you. But on the seventh day, you will be resurrected. And I don't know if you know, but this carpenter only ever had to do the suffering Latin word one time. I don't know if you know, but this carpenter only had to be crucified in this likeness one time. Because the way this universe works is when you finally enter your season, it shall have no end. My final words: Bethany is killing you because it's too comfortable. You already know that Jerusalem and that cross was what you were meant to do. How can I respect what you're building if you don't ever die for it? Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can't plant better. You can dominate.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's unmute our mic and give Mr. Antonio T. Smith Jr. a round of applause.
Woo!
Yeah. Thanks, Perry. You preach that.
Right, ladies. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us for Let's Talk Tuesday this evening. Mr. Smith, would you like a Q&A or are we moving on? Prepare. All right. All right. So, Miss Susan, the floor is yours. If you have something you would like to say, we see your mic is unmuted. Go ahead.
Well, considering we have the Bureau next evaluation, I give this a superior.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Smith, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to educate us on this evening. Whew. I can tell you one thing. I'm definitely not that gentleman. I see.
I don't know where you.
Go ahead.
I don't know where you got that from, but that's a great story.
That's how the Bible should be taught.
All right. Does anyone else have anything that they would like to say? We got about 4 more minutes, and then we're going to close it out. About 10 minutes. All right. So is there anything anyone else would like to say? We got about 10 more minutes before we close it out for the evening and move on to the Bureau keynotes. The floor is open. Is there anything anyone else would like to say? Do you have a question you would like to? Oh, go ahead, Mr. Phil. The floor is open.
No holes in my hands. No holes in my feet. No spear in my heart. Nor thorns in my skull. And he still said, forgive him.
Okay, there's a reason I'm silent. I Phil always does things that make you not want to come behind him. So if anyone has any questions they would like to ask, or if there is anyone else who would like to comment on tonight's message from Mr. Antonio T. Smith Jr., the floor is open. Any questions? Any comments? All right. Because I promise you, I'm not coming after Mr. Phil. All right. Well, if we have no questions or no comments, again, let's you can give a round of applause to the message delivered by Mr. Antonio T. Smith Jr. on this evening.
Right.
And we will, yes, and we will see each of you in 18 minutes. Of those of you who are part of the Bureau of Dominant Speakers, we'll see you in 18 minutes to listen to Mr. Law Lodholt present his keynote for this evening. Everyone have an amazing evening. Mr. Smith, any final words for us this evening?
You can plant better. You can dominate.
Good night, everyone.
I'm not sure if you already know this, but you're already absolutely perfect. You're already absolutely great, and you're already living in massive abundance. The most important things that you have is not what you have, it's not what you do, it's what you know. Because the people who do know what you need to know to lead the middle class, they're in the top 1%, and they control 96% of the world's income. 97% of this world is trading time for money, and that is not the way to become rich, it's not the way to become wealthy, and it is absolutely not the way to leave the middle class. There are 7.8 billion people in the world right now, and they all want to learn how to make money and how to leave the middle class. But the way to become a master at anything is to learn all the rules and then bend them to your favor. Right now in this world, there are 2,057 billionaires. Right now. So if you think becoming a billionaire is impossible, that's 2,057 people that have already proved that impossibility incorrect. And if you think that's crazy, there are 46.8 million millionaires in the world, worldwide right now. Now think about that. 46.8 million millionaires, and that number grows 1,730 millionaires every single day. Money is everywhere. You don't need to max out your credit cards. You don't need to borrow from granddad and grandma. Just look behind me. Look at all the wealth sitting behind me in this junkyard. It's insane how much money is everywhere, and you don't need to go out there and beg, borrow, and steal to get it. You just need to know the rules of making money and how to leave the middle class. Essentially, all you need to know is the algorithm of making money, the rules of making money. All you need to know is what to do and how to do it, and you can leave the middle class. Any industry, yoga, golf, underwater basket weaving, clipping fingernails, it doesn't matter. All you have to do is know how to do it, how to get it done, and then find somebody to teach you how to do it, how to get it done, and you will be able to leave the middle class. If you're not getting my point, it's real simple. Whatever you have up here, as long as you understand the rules of leaving the middle class, as long as you understand how to get money, you can take what's up here and get wealthy from what you already have. Right now, the very thing you know up here is already being searched 1,000 times a second on Google. Someone right now, actually 1,730 people right now are going to become a millionaire from the stuff that you have in your head. Why can't this be you? I mean, it's 1,730 people with your ideas that are no better than you, that are going to leave the middle class, become a millionaire. Why are you not next? So how do we do this? How do we take what you know and apply it to objective money-making secrets and then allow you to leave the middle class? How do we take you from where you are and let you escape to where you want to go? So how do we make all this money or take all this knowledge from the Warren Buffetts, from the Elon Musk? How do we take everything that everyone before you has done, and how do we take all of that and then put it in your head so you can leave a legacy for your family? My name is Antonio T. Smith Jr. 32 years ago, I lived in a trash can. That's right, from 6 to 14, I had no running water, no electricity, no anything, and somehow I'm in the top 1% today. Not because I had the right background, not because I had a silver spoon in my mouth, simply because being homeless made me learn how to make money. I retired when I was 29 years old. I'm more than likely younger than you. I'm one of the top 1% income earners in one of the richest countries in the world. What I learned how to do when I was 6 years old was learn how to generate enough money to eat some cookies so I wouldn't die to death from starvation. From there, I learned how to go from cookies to a meal. From a meal to clothes to shelter to everything else that supplied my necessary needs. When I was 6, I was forced to learn how to make money, and now that's what I'm going to do and help you do. I've seen amazing results. I have my own economy. I've homeschooled my own children, and I wrote a book that teaches you every single thing that I know about making money, every single thing that other people know about making money, and most importantly, all the stuff that we don't tell you. Because the truth is, and you know it like I know it, the most honest, the most hardworking, unselfish people on planet Earth live in the middle class. Yet, your honesty, your unselfishness, your devout religion-going self is not enough to get to the top 1%, and that's not fair. The second half of my life has been not about how much money I make, but how I will be remembered from all the money that I have made. And I've been trying to teach everybody how to get out the middle class. I'm the crazy guy famous on the internet for trying to create 100,000 millionaires. I've created 8 so far. I got a 9th one on the way, all the way from India. That's pretty cool. And what I want to tell you is something very simple. It's been hard. It's been absolutely hard to help people leave the middle class, not because of the people, because the system would rather keep you being someone else's money instead of you having your own economy and having the money come find and flow to you. It was frustrating because I knew that anybody can make money. And if you knew what I knew, you would change your life. Over the last few years, I've built a large following of over 500,000 people every month that pay me for me to give them advice. Well, that's been exciting for me. And the cool thing is I've created thousands of six-figure earners. I've created millionaires. I've created people who can live their dreams and hold on to their legacies. And now my eyes are on you to create you to what you need to be great. I have been teaching my principles and these principles to hundreds of thousands of people around the world, every country, all continents, and anyone who has taken them seriously, written them down, and applied them have a 100% success rate of leaving the middle class. I've taught these secrets to my following, my inner network, and I've watched them go from 4 figures to 5 figures, 5 figures to 6 figures, 7 figures, all the way to 8. Everything that I've ever learned from millionaire mentors, billionaire mentors, and everything I learned from being homeless, and everything that got me into the top 1%, I have placed inside of a book. To date, it is the longest book that I've ever written, the most best book that I've ever written, and that book is called The Richest Man in the Trash Can, and I'm offering it to you today for free. This book is going to show you how to become wealthy into the top 1% and leave the middle class. This book is going to give you a step-by-step plan if you're 30 years old, all the way to 70 years old, how to get into the top 1%. If you're a teenager, how to get to the top 1%. If you're a millennial, how to get to the top 1%. It's going to teach you how to make 6 figures immediately, teach you how to get to $1 million immediately, and all that good stuff. Plus, I'm going to give you the 36 objective laws of leaving the middle class. Plus, I'm going to give you every last one of my secrets that have made me rich. You have to understand that leaving the middle class is the most important fight that you're going to have in your life. And to be honest with you, and you can kind of relate to this, it almost takes $450,000 a year just to be broke in America. And that's just in America. If you don't leave the middle class, which is actually an illusion, then you are going to have a really hard time. think about it for a second. Most of you going to be watching this are going to be baby boomers, and you've been sold a bad check. They lied to you. Your retirement was not enough for you to live comfortable, and I'm going to give you this book for free so you can figure out how to triple your retirement and then quadruple your retirement, and then, as Grant Cardone would say, 10x your retirement so you can live the life that's worthy of you. I want you to remember that leaving the middle class is the most important battle that you could ever face in your entire life, especially for your family. So consider this video, this book, your friendly tap on the shoulder. I want to send you a free copy of this book because I believe that abundance is your birthright. I believe that abundance is freedom, and I believe that this book is right for you. In fact, I believe in that so much that I will send you the book for free. All you have to do is cover the cost of shipping. I'll eat the cost. I'll take the loss. And all you have to do is get the book and dominate your reality right now and apply the principles so you can be the best person for your life that is yours. Fill out the form sitting right there to the right. Go ahead, dominate your reality. I can't wait to send you my book. I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to have you as someone that's been on the journey with me. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can plan better. You can dominate.